So, what do you do when you're trying to get white whiskers in over the top of black fur? You've lost all of your tooth, and all you're getting when you try to get your white whiskers in is sort of like a muddy, dark grey. In this video, what I'm sort of showing you is a fix that I created to help me get over the fact that I didn't have any tooth left. I was using Pastelmat, I was using my coloured pencils, and I decided that I was going to use some help from the brush and pencil products, the touch-up texture and the workable fixative. Right, so I've got my package from Jackson's. This is the touch-up texture that I was talking about, and basically what it should do is give me, I'm just giving it a really good shake, it should give me extra tooth so that I can bring the whiskers in. It's a bit light actually, let me just see if I can, that's a bit better. Yeah, so it should give me a little bit extra tooth so that I can get these flipping whiskers in. So I'm going to give it a really good shake. Now the other thing that I've got, which I'm going to use as sort of like, if this doesn't work, I'm going to use this. So this is the textured fixative. Now I wouldn't usually use a fixative. However, my thinking is if this doesn't work, I'm going to mask off this area here and I'm going to spray the fixative on. But for the time being, I'm just going to brush on some of this fixative and just see what happens. So I'm going to, oh, it's a bit hard actually. Just get that brush going a bit better. So I'm going to come in this area here. Not sure how this is going to work, to be honest, because I have a feeling the spray would probably be a good idea to have the picture up actually, so I can actually see what I'm doing. Probably good to have the spray because then it's going to be much less of a sort of a gap, if that makes sense. Not a gap, but you know how and probably better if I had this a bit flatter, but anyway. The thing is I can't get the whiskers on, so that's the main thing. So I can't get the whiskers in, so I've got to do something. If this doesn't work, I'll just have to restart the piece because it's got to work. That's going a little bit. Yeah, I think I might just have to flatten my drawing board actually. Okay, I flattened the board a little bit, which is why it looks sort of slightly, the perspective looks a little bit out. And I'm just now going to bring in here some of this textured touch-up. So it's not blending any of the pencil. And quite a lot, or a little, goes quite a long way. Let's bring that in over there. So you can see here, where it's all a bit, oops, you can see where I put it in a little bit, which in fact what I'll do is I'll just sort of tip it slightly. No, you can't see. But anyway, I've put it into here. It does look very wet at the minute, so I'm just going to leave it to completely dry. I probably won't get onto this piece until later on tonight or this afternoon, so hopefully at that point it will have dried totally. and then we're just going to have a look and see how it's going to work. Now my thinking is, because we're doing whiskers in over the top, any sort of shininess or strangeness in the pencil we're hopefully not going to be able to see, because once we disguise it with the whiskers coming through, it should work out okay. So we'll see how that works out. Right, okay, so what I've done is I've created a window. It looks like he's peeping out. I've created a little window of film that I've put over the top of the drawing. Now, I think it is going to be okay with just the touch-up texture, but I'm going to also put some spray on it as well. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to use the white pencil in over the top. So, slightly scary. You can see why I don't like to use fixative. So all of those sparkly bits are big globules of fixative. Now I'm hoping that they're just all going to dry nicely. By the time I've had my tea, I should be able to come back and start to draw on those. I hope. Yeah, and the fixative smells just like sick. It's horrible. Right. Oh gosh, this is the moment of truth, isn't it? So it's sprayed. It's we've got the touch-up texture on it. I'm just finding my picture now. And then what I've got is I've got a pastel pencil, a white pastel pencil, and I've also got a white museum aquarelle, which I'm just going to sharpen up. They're like gold dust, these museum aquarelles, so I've just got to make sure I don't over sharpen it. And I'm just gonna get into the feel of it. I'm just going to bring some of the whiter hairs in on the top of the ear up here. So that's worked quite nicely. Oh gosh, sorry, my son's seeing. So that's working okay. Quite well actually. Really nice light pressure. I'm just going to do the same with the pastel. Just see what happens with the pastel. Maybe a little bit thick there. I'm just going to bring a little bit into here. I didn't put much of the touch-up texture into that bit, but in there. Just going to bring a little bit more into that area there, and then we're definitely getting some of that brighter white coming through in there, which is great. Now when it's coming out over the thing, what I'll do is I'll bring a little bit of warm grey or something in so that they actually show up. But they're not looking too bad actually, and I'm getting the whites, and it's actually sitting on the white here as well, and that's showing up, so that's all good. I probably need to sort of darken in between there, but at least I'm getting this white to sort of show up in there, which is great. And then I'm just going to bring a little bit more up into there. Let's bring a little bit more. Now the good thing about the touch-up text, now I wouldn't want to use it an awful lot, but the good thing about it is that you're not limited, you know. So if I make a mess of this, particularly on the Pastelmat, if I make a mess of this, I can come back in again and I can put another layer of it over, and then I can work into it again. You know, so in that respect it's quite good really. So I'm just going to come in with the pastel. Is a Caran d'Ache one. It's a very soft one. I don't really have any pastels. So that's rubbish, isn't it? So I'm going to have to come in there with the black and just tidy that up a little bit. Again, it's given me, you know, it's given me like a load more tooth to be able to play with, which is great. So I'm just going to come back in here as well and just tidy that up as well. Okay, and then we need to come into, I don't think I'm going to use the pastel. I think I'm going to be okay with my Museum Aquarelle. I'm just going to sharpen it again, just to make sure I've got it sharp. And I'm using my little handheld sharpener, which is pretty good actually. It's pretty sharp. And then we're going to come in onto this side, which is basically the side that is a bit... and we're just going to... I've got this on record, haven't I? Yeah. We're just going to come through here. They're not bad whiskers, actually. I'm going to tidy them up a little bit, but I haven't really put any down here. But you can see that they've gone in really quite nicely on there. And before, they wouldn't go in at all. I couldn't get any of it on at all, which was a bit of a pain, really. Well, it was a lot of the pain because I thought I was going to have to restart it. So I think that particularly on Pastelmat, my new process for creating whiskers is going to be using the touch-up texture and the fixative to be able to get into and create the, you know, the white hairs in the over the top of the black. Now it does sort of work anyway, you know, it's not as if it doesn't work without the fixative, but it works better with the fixative. And I'd lost all of the tooth. I didn't have any tooth at all to speak of, lost it all. So this has enabled me to kind of get those whiskers in. So I'm just going to start to tidy these up a little bit. I'm hoping they don't disappear. I don't want to do too much to them so that they end up, but I'm quite happy with how those have worked out actually.